Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Second taxi operator murdered in Seaview Gardens. Another taxi operator has been shot dead in the community of Seaview Gardens in St. Andrew. A woman was injured in the incident that occurred about 11 p.m. on Saturday. The deceased has been identified as Dwayne Coke of a Seaview Gardens address. Coke and the woman were seated in his car when they were pounced upon by armed men, reports stated. Shots were fired into the vehicle and both occupants were injured. Coke drove from Seaview Gardens in an apparent attempt to reach the Kingston Public Hospital, but he lost control of the vehicle and crashed along the Marcus Garvey Drive. He succumbed to his injuries while the woman was admitted in serious condition. The St. Andrew South Police are investigating. On Thursday, 61-year-old Paul Tony Allen of the General Avenue, St. Jacob West Spanish Town address was shot and killed in his car on Red Sea Drive in Seaview Gardens. 17 members of the security services were in prison last year. 17 members of the security services, inclusive of police personnel, soldiers, and security guards, were part of the nation's prison population of 3,565 that was under the care of the Department of Correctional Services DCS as at December 31, 2021. The total prison population at the end of the year was 41 more than the same time in 2020. The Tower Street Adult Correctional Center and the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center both operated above capacity. The Tower Street facility was operated at double its capacity, 200.1%, while the St. Catherine prison was 6.7% above capacity. The figures are contained in the 2021 edition of the Economic and Social Survey Jamaica, ESSJ, a publication of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. The survey found that maids accounted for 97.2% of the total adult custodial population and that there was a 10.9% increase in the number of persons admitted to correctional facilities to 903 from 814. The survey also found that the top 3 reasons for admission continued to be illegal possession of firearm ammunition, 23.5%, larceny break-in, larceny of motor vehicle, 12.1%, and sexual offenses, 10.6%. Of note is that almost half, 48.6% of those admitted were unskilled, 27.2% were self-employed, 15.3% were skilled workers, 2.7% were professionals, 1.6% were security sector professionals, and 0.2% were students. 5 foreign nationals were admitted during the year, a 64.3% reduction compared with 2020. As at December 31, there were 13 foreign nationals in custody of the DCS. Of the total admissions, 59.1% were new, 28% were readmissions, and 12.8% had been previously convicted but not given custodial sentences. Maids accounted for 100% of readmissions, 99.1% of the previous convicted, and 94.6% of new admissions. An analysis for the readmissions data showed that 53.8% were first-time reoffenders, 15.4% were persons who have reoffended twice, 8.3% had reoffended 3 times, 19.4% had reoffended at least 4 times. Also, 3.1% where the status was unknown, said the ESSJ. It says the recidivism rate remained at 41.0%, while the readmission rate increased by 1.0% point to 28.0%. Approximately 41% have been admitted were serving sentences for up to 12 months. At year end, there were 1,394 adults awaiting sentencing, including 539 appellants, 173 persons awaiting trial, 111 persons who were deemed unfit to plea, 570 persons on remand, and 1 retrial. Conroe Regional Hospital can make adjustments to treat monkeypox, says SMO. Following the recording of 1 local case of monkeypox, Dr. Derek Harvey, the Senior Medical Officer SMO at the Conroe Regional Hospital CRH in St. James, says that the Type A facility can be repurposed as necessary to treat any cases that may appear in Western Jamaica. Monkeypox is going to be one of those diseases which required isolation, and it depends on the symptomatology of the patient, Harvey said. He told reporters that step would have to be made to repurpose the CRH building, again similar to what has been done with COVID-19. So if someone's become very symptomatic and has to be kept in hospital and isolated, what we'll do is to go back to converting some of the spaces which were open for non-COVID persons and make them monkeypox isolation areas, the SMO said. His declaration comes 2 days after Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton told a press conference that the viral infection has confirmed in a patient who had recently returned from the United Kingdom. The patient was isolated and his close contacts quarantined following contact tracing. The Conroe Regional Hospital, which is Western Jamaica's only Type A medical facility with 383 available bed spaces, has been undergoing rehabilitation work to correct a noxious fumes issue, which resulted in several office departments being relocated in 2017. Some of the hospital's bed spaces are currently housed at the Falmouth Public Hospital in neighboring Trelawney. The hospital's capacity to treat monkeypox, if any such cases should be found in Western Jamaica, may be easier due to the lower number of COVID-19 patients who are currently on the hospital's ward. At present, there are 6 COVID-19 patients in-house at the Conroe Regional Hospital, a significant reduction from the 18 who were there last year. 31 killed in 35 fatal motor vehicle crashes during the month of June. Director of the Road Safety Unit RSU, Deidre Hudson Sinclair, is renewing the call for road users to exercise caution on the nation's roads, as statistics show that 31 people have been killed in 35 fatal crashes in the month of June. During the month, fatalities decreased by 10%, while fatal crashes decreased by 9% when compared with similar period in 2021. This is according to the latest statistics released by the RSU. The statistics show that pedestrians account for 17% of road users killed during June 2022. The statistics for the month also show that drivers of private motor vehicles accounted for 31% of the road users killed. Passengers of private motor vehicles accounted for 17% of the road users killed during the month. Motorists accounted for 20%. Pillion riders accounted for 3%. Pedal cyclists accounted for 11%. There was no fatality reported among public motor vehicle passengers. There was no fatality reported among drivers of commercial motor vehicles. Vulnerable road users, pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillions accounted for 51% of road users killed during the month of June. During the month, maize accounted for 97% of all fatalities, while the other 3% was unknown. The parish of St. James was responsible for 17% of the road deaths during the month. It was followed by St. Catherine and Westmoreland with 14% each. KSAFA clubs and players happy for return of senior football. After a break of more than 2 years from football due to COVID-19 pandemic, senior football returns for the Kingston and St. Andrew Football Association, KSAFA clubs. The rebranded Championship League, formerly known as the Super League, gets going Sunday while the Major League brings on Wednesday. Sunday at the UWI, Captain Horace Burrell's Center of Excellence, many-time champions Barbican FC will come up against their great rivals, Browntown FC, starting at 4 p.m. For Christopher James, an executive member of the Barbican FC, the return of football trumps everything else. The most important thing is to start the competition. We are a little bit underprepared, but it is very important to get the football going because, as you can see, the crime situation is getting worse and football has always been a vehicle to help to stir that flow, he stated. James expected a keen contest from Brownstone, who they have met consistently at the business end of the season for the last half-decade. It's always a very tough game. Over the last 5 years probably, we have met either in the semi-finals or the finals every year in the former Super League, so it's going to be a good game. Peter Grant, president and head coach of Brownstone FC, is equally happy for the return of KSAFA football. First and foremost, I am most excited and happy, along with the players, of the resumption of KSAFA senior football competitions. One of the things is that the players have been sitting out for over 2 years now throughout the pandemic. Right now, they are ready to go, I have more than 2 squads of players wanting to play, so it's even difficult for me to select a set of players to start this game. But we're ready, and we can't wait, he said excitedly. With the recent matchups going in the favor of Sunday's opponents, Grant says that his players can't wait to turn the tables. The players are very ready to play against Barbican because we have met in the finals before. Barbican beat us, and they are more excited now just to get back into the situation like that, so they are ready. For the opening game, it couldn't be a better game, he suggested. He also suggested that it is not just the players on the team who are eager for the football to return. We have people who come to the field every evening at 4 o'clock just to see what's happening. Sometimes over 100 youth are sit down on a silly train in Aguan waiting for the competition to start. The players don't have anything to do during the day. A lot of them are not working. Some of them have finished school and are not doing anything, so they are waiting for something to occupy their time. With football starting, it's going to be a great help for them. Jonah Williams, who represents Ligoni FC, says that he has been challenging during the period of no football, but has promised that his team will go all the way this year. After the break, it was very stressing for the restart of football, but we were there training to stay fit and ready for the competition, and so we are looking forward to getting all the points we need to win this championship. With some of the players gone overseas, we still have a good bunch of players to carry out the job. Dave Edwards, Pembroke Hall FC manager, coach, is happy that the long wait for the return of football is finally over. His team will be playing in the Major League and will open their season against Police Nationals. We have been waiting for this opportunity for a very long time now, and it's good to know that football in KSAFA is back on track again, and we can see the youth in the corporate era come out and showcase their talent. We started training recently. Hopefully, when the day comes, we will get there, and we expect to do great against Police Nationals. He noted that his players are very young, but is hopeful that they can put on a good show this season. The team is basically youngsters from high school. Hopefully, we will get some good football from the youth this season. Pembroke Hall and Police Nationals will meet at the Stadium Eastfield on Wednesday starting at 7:30 p.m. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.